one of the things that we spoke about in this book is talking about knowing God when you're young. Ecclesiastes 12:1, know your Creator in the days of your youth before the difficult days come. That means the difficult days going to come. You got to go to work, got a job, got this, and so it's best to know God now when you're young, because that's when He wants to give you vision when you're young.
Coming live on your radio. What they want? That real and raw. How they get it? DJ Focus. What we doing? Making music, reaching the corner, and it's all for the kingdom. And we gon' make sure they know it. Ooh, 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 ooh. We gon' take it there. I like red letters over trap beats. The Fixx is saying, ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh.
Yes, sir. Welcome back. DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You tap back into the Fixx, your number one source of faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. It's time for our spiritual detox. You already know the vibes. And we got our brother joining us today. Let's be very clear. He do it all. He a director, producer. Man, he writing books and stuff now, man. What don't he do? You know what I'm saying? He might still have a couple of them dance moves. Y'all don't know. He used to, you know what I'm saying, be one of your favorite choreographers out there in these streets doing these dance moves and everything else. But I'm excited to have a great conversation with my brother, Darius West. What's going on, sir?
What's up, man? I appreciate the opportunity. Just here chilling at the house. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon, actually Friday morning here in San Diego. And the girls at school, the wife is at work, and I'm just at the house chilling.
Man, that's good. That's good. Anytime you can have some peace and
get
you a little serenity and meditate and just, make sure you're ready for the game plan is always a good thing.
Amen, amen, amen.
Yes. So come on, man. We got a lot to talk about, a little bit of time. Let's catch up, man. For those who may don't know, man, everybody knows you from the Mic Drop documentary, which is amazing. If y'all have not seen it, please go out and see it. It's streaming everywhere, wherever you can stream it. Go watch it. It's amazing. But now we have the second installment that you got cooking with the ladies and the squad. So come on and catch the people up on everything that you've already done and production-wise and where we going with this.
Yeah. Just real briefly, we are out there talking about it, especially on social media. We have it up there, and a lot of the ladies who are part of it have been posting about it. So the show is called Squad. It stands for Sophisticated Queens United and Divine. It's the first reality TV show featuring female Christian hip hop artists, and really the concept behind it is really creating a platform for them to create their own live concert event and showing what that looks like behind the scenes as they live together for the span of 8 episodes. And so what that would look like, we did shoot the pilot in Atlanta a few months ago. And so we've just been promoting it internally. We went to the Doves, talked about, promoted it there, showed the thing. And now, right now, I have a network sizzle reel that's being circulated around the industry. Talks. We've been in talks with Hulu, a couple of talks with other platforms. Working with my attorney, actually, I have a call with him today, because we're actually in the process of building raising the capital for us to shoot the first 8 episodes, just for Atlanta and also possibly for Dallas as well. And so, with our discussions with Hulu and who licensed WeTV for all their reality TV stuff, they're just looking for the first episodes because they love the sizzle reel that we sent over to them. And so we're just working feverishly behind closed doors, man. Staying quiet. And like I said, right now it's right on the timeline, what I had anticipated, that after the Doves, it'd be focused on getting the sizzle reel together. No one's seen it outside of internally, of course, and just really creating the relationship, connecting with the relationships that we have in the industry, and being ready for after mid-January starts stepping into some rooms and get some things done. So looking to hopefully be in pre-production by sometime in the spring, so that we'll be shooting by fall of next year for the first 8 episodes, if not sooner.
That's good. So, wow, you said a lot. Let's backtrack a little bit. First, why did you decide to do the reality series compared to just like the documentary like you did for Mic Drop? Talk to people about that. What sparked that idea?
I really just I live in a house full of women. I have my wife and 3 daughters.
He said
So
he just gonna keep it a buck.
yeah, just keep it a buck, right? And so reality TV is a big deal, and I see
Okay.
how they gravitate to that. So because I know in our initial talks, a few years back, I was like, oh, we ought to do a docu-series, and the more and more I thought about it, I said, and I was actually working on a documentary with another client at the time that I decided to not do it, and I realized, well, do I really want to do another documentary now? It's like it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work that goes into doing a documentary in terms of the research and getting people to interview. It's just a whole thing that I said, do I really want to go that route? So I gave it to God. I had a quick conversation with Dice Gamble during that same time. She's like, D, it's time to do something for the ladies. I said, I know, but I said I need to spend time with God to really see where we want to go with this, because I said we could do the docu thing, but I don't want to do that right now. That's another journey that I really want to focus on what God wants. So that's really, just the influence of that, seeing that, and realizing, wow, a reality TV show would be really good, because for me, it created a different platform for these ladies that that could be separate from the documentary, right? It could be something they could say, this is us, this is our identity in terms of our media platform. So with that, and just spend time with God, God's shown me, and I began to ask questions. Say, what's a need in the Christian hip hop community in terms of females that has not been met? And I began to think. I said, I've never seen a live concert with just all female Christian hip hop artists, and I was like, that, I think that'd be dope. So that kind of spawned the idea of think about, okay, how about create a show around that, them doing that, creating a show. Because I remember, just that summer, last summer, a concert got canceled. It was like, it was one day, Nikkei, it was a Nikkei, and it was,
Oh, you talking about with
Name with
Sheer
Rain.
Kelly,
Yeah.
Nikkei, yes.
And I was looking forward to that, and I was kind of disappointed that it got canceled. And I heard, that ticket sales wasn't that great, and I was like, well, we need to create a platform for these ladies where this won't be an issue, and if we create an audience for them that goes beyond just the music industry, if you create a platform for them beyond it, then you get fans that are coming in from different aspects of life that are not connected so much just to gospel Christian hip hop. And so, just having people, young ladies, girls, and females or older ladies watching their lives on TV or whatever platform, connecting with this artist or this individual and their journey, I think is really going to be spectacular. And when you see the final episode of them performing in front of their fans and supporters, I think it'd be a big thing.
Yeah, I do too as well. And thanks for sharing that. But I do got to ask. So let's be very clear. You're a pioneer because you're doing something that hasn't been done. Like you said, Christian hip hop ladies doing a reality show. When most people think a reality show, let's be very clear, it's very messy. It's a little ratchet. And, it's a little suspect when you have this many ladies. Were you reserved at all? Did that kind of hold you back? Like, do we think we really can pull this off where it don't be too messy? Will it water down the gospel at all? Because we show some vulnerability in some of these scenes, and I know you in early production, but I'm just saying, did that even like register to you? Like this could be it could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing.
Yeah. I didn't give a lot of thought to it because I watched a few shows to kind of gear up on how I want this show to look and feel. The Rap Game. I watched the Rap Game, a few seasons of that with JD and that guy. I think the Sisterhoods or hip hop. I watch a few shows, and I really really, and understanding that reality TV is unscripted and scripted in the terms of there's no real script, but there's these scenarios that you place into the show, right? That create either tensions or whatever. But it really came down to challenges, right? What challenges are you going to present to the ladies or to whoever the show is about, that really bring about the uh, message of what you want to present. And so for us, the message is we want to present the message that these ladies, one, they love God, right?
Mm.
They're all called to do this thing. And for this show, they all have the common goal of building a show to highlight, the call upon their lives, right? So it's about creating challenges that will help one nurture that goal, right? As well as when different people are in this type of show, ladies or men or what have you, there will be things that are conflict, right? There would be conflict that may arise, but it's always reiterated why we here, right? We're not here for ourselves. There, one of the mottos I use for the show is there are no stars on the show. Nobody's a star, right? And if you come in knowing that nobody's a star, then you come with a sense of humility to realize this is my sister, this is my sister, this is my sister, and we're here to build something. Just by shooting the pilot, you can see where everyone's skill level is, right? Everyone has a certain skill level, and everyone recognizing that, right? One of the challenges we did in the pilot episode was we wanted them to create the theme song for the show, right? And they were separated into two different groups, and showing how they collaborated and worked together, realizing, okay, I'm a person that's good with hooks, and I'm not a person good with. I'm a person that's good with verses or whatever, or melody, and they begin to cater to their strengths, right? And
Right.
then and so that's what we want to see, is that because we will see someone who's watching this show and it's like, hey man, that's me. I'm going through this. We have ladies that they have families, right? And so we want to show that. Like, what is that like? You have a child, you have a family, you have a husband. What is that like while you're trying to do this? And so you really show one of the things Carmen told me. I traveled with Carmen, years ago in the 90s as a dancer. And one of the things, I've known him since I was 16. So, he was a good mentor of mine. He told me, he says, 80% of ministry happens when you step off stage, and basically saying the behind the scenes of your life. And that's really what this show is, showing the behind the scenes of their lives, of them building toward this ministry moment, right? Of this concert moment. And so with that comes conflict, comes with things, but with the mindset of we're here for one goal and one purpose, and that's to get to this concert.
You know what? One thing I do want to ask before we get on to, I know you're working on the book too as well, but let's talk about the challenges, Darius, because you did the mic drop documentary, but the same thing when you first started off. Of course, you was trying to get a major to pick it up, or get people to get behind it for funding, because production and everything costs. People fail to realize, no, everything is costs money.
Everything costs.
Everybody always, the church is always arguing, we shouldn't be talking about prosperity and the prosperity gospel and money, but you can't do nothing without it. So just talk about the challenges of raising the capital to do everything you need to do. You got the vision, what needs to be, what the people you want to insert, who you want to pay, but how do you get the money to pay them? So just for somebody, maybe a striving film director, producer, or somebody out there, vision just like you, to do some things, maybe give them a little bit of help on the challenges, and then also the success story of raising capital to get everything done.
Yeah, I'll start with mic drop. And I use mic drop and my experience with mic drop to help help me with how I was going to do squad. With mic drop, initially it was just, well, you got to have some money to put in for yourself. You got to invest in yourself. I think I spent, you're talking about 2015, 2016 of my own money, about anywhere between $7,000 to $10,000 of my own money, just to travel, just to get the interviews, hotels, whatever it took to make this work. And because I was because I'm an editor, right? I didn't have to pay nobody in post production, so I did all the editing. But my goal was, I need to cut a really, really good sizzle reel, right? So this could be my proof, or we call it in the industry proof of concept. Proof of concept, prove that, like, this is what this is going to look like, and this is the energy of this is the So I poured my own money into that, and was able to eventually within 6 months or so, secured distribution with Warner Music Group, right? And that was like mid part of 2016, and so the early part of 2016, I'm talking about April, May. I remember getting the call, say, "Hey, man, um, I have a friend of mine who looks into invest." But at this time, we was looking at, I don't know, $40,000. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like, hey, we just need this much, to do it. Boo, boo, boo. And so that's that. With that, in addition to people knowing that I already had distribution with Warner, because I had distribution before I had investors, right? And so that kind of helped, the credibility of what I was doing, because Warner was backing it and had it on their docket. But over the course of time, we realized, okay, 40,000 turned into 65,000. The 65,000 turned to 300 something thousand. So you just realize over the course of time, this is what it took. But it first had to be, I had to believe in it myself, to where I had to put my own money into it, or sometimes people have to take out loans. And fortunately at that time, I didn't have to take out any loans because I was using my pension from my previous job. So you have to, believe. Investors have to know that you believe in it if you put money in, because investors are not going to put anything into something that you want to do unless they see that you also invested in it. And sometimes you don't have the money, but they, what we call sweat equity. They want to see the sweat equity as well. They want to see a proof of concept, right? And that was key. So doing that and be able to do that, and now looking at doing Squad, I was like, okay, I know the recipe for this, right? I need to put money into this, but I need a couple other people to put money in this, because I want to shoot a pilot, and this is not just me, flying here, flying there with a camera and some sticks, or tripod, and put someone on the camera. This is actually me bringing the cast together and with a crew and everything, and we got to shoot this thing. So with a budget of $20,000, you got to look, okay, and this is 2 days of shooting. People don't realize how much it costs to shoot stuff professionally, right?
Talk about it. No, that's why I want you to tell them about it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is 2 days of shooting. This is Friday and Saturday. This is $20,000, right? You're talking about flights. You talk about, the cost of the location. You talk about the crew. You talk about food, catering. Catering is huge, right? All the different costs that come into this, paying for everything it takes to shoot, just a pilot, 2 days of shooting, that's $20,000. So for me, I'm like, okay, I need two investors to come in with me to make this happen. God made a way, and we got two female investors to come in with me, and we financed the project, right? But that's what it takes. You have to know from the beginning, it's going to take money. It's not going to be free. It's going to be either your money or someone else's money, but you have to have something that people are going to latch onto and say, oh, I get this. I can invest into this, right? You need to have your proposal together. It can't just be like, hey, believe in me and just send an email. No, you have to have this whole, thing mapped out. This is the purpose for it. This is the vision for it. It's a whole thing that I do production all the time. So I'm always doing budgets. So I know what needs to be paid for, what needs to be bought, all kind of stuff. So with that said, I know that $20,000 was invested into doing Squad, right? And you do ROIs with investors, return on investment. Once we get picked up, you get this percentage, and that's a whole nother thing, But so now I'm at the point where, okay, I've done this. We shot the pilot. I created the network sizzle reel, and now people have seen it in the industry. People, I'm talking from the Christian media industry, mainstream media industry. I'm getting the same thing. Everyone's saying we have never seen nothing like this. We have never, this is, we talk about non-believers too. Like, this not even in the mainstream, right? And so that's, because same thing with my truck. There was nothing like that, right? There's nothing like this. So that already piques the interest, and so that's why I get my attorney involved, and he already have a couple of investors that already, are excited about being a part of this, And you talk about, I want to shoot the first three seasons, Atlanta, Dallas, and LA. We may end up just doing Atlanta and Dallas first, but you're talking about roughly $1.5 million, right? And that's that's just a shoot and get it done. And so you're presenting 8 episodes to a Hulu I've already spoken to with the licensing and things like that. So you just got to, really, do your research. It's all about connections, really, relationships in the industry, whatever industry you're in. You need to have relationships with people, connections to where you can make some calls. And, for me, I've been sending the sizzle reels. Okay, boom, boom, boom. They're like, oh, wow, it's like, this is amazing. So there's nothing that no one's seen in social media or outside of our camp, but is because I know what it takes in this industry, and what the mainstream industry is looking for when it comes to a proof of concept, because that's what I do as a job, and that's what I do. And so that kind of stuff, for some people who don't have that, hey, I don't know how to create a proof of concept. I don't know how to do a sizzle reel. Well, you might have to find someone to do that, but you're going to need a sizzle reel. It's kind of like a business card. A sizzle reel is a business card in the media industry. No one's going to read your script most of the time because, they don't have the time to do it, but they'll watch a 2 or 3 minute sizzle or trailer about what show or whatever you have, because then they'll say, okay, let's read the whole thing or let's see what this is about. And so it's really about doing that. And that's where we are right now. The sizzle reel has been, sent out to certain people and just get the ball rolling. And we showed a little teaser at the Double Awards, but that's not even what it even is in the sizzle reel. It's like totally different because it's a different audience. It's different, industry, people that I'm dealing with. But yeah, so it takes money. You got to invest in yourself. Your vision has to be clear. You need to have some type of proposal on paper that really makes sense. Even if it's a deck, right? People need to see something visually, a proof of concept for them to really buy into what you're doing.
That's good. All right, before I get you out of here, come on, talk about this book you working on, man. You say you dropping on your B-Day. Come on, talk about
it. Yeah, my birthday, I'm growing out my beard, man. I'll wait until my 50th, 12/12. I'm a diet and everything, but I have my first book coming out. It's called The Greater the Purpose, The Longer the Process. It is a culmination of the last 30 years of my life, what it means to have vision, and the understanding what vision is in terms of how it relates to purpose and seasons. If you're a young person who is at this age where you're self-discovery, trying to figure out what you need to do in life, one of the things that we spoke about in this book is talking about knowing God when you're young. Ecclesiastes 12:1, know your creator in the days of your youth before the difficult days come. That means the difficult days are going to come. You got to go to work, got a job, got this, and so it's best to know God now when you're young, because that's when he wants to give you vision when you're young, right? You look throughout all scripture, God always gave vision to young people, David, Joseph, these guys, you know what I'm saying? Because you need time to fulfill this. And so it talks about that, talks about a vision, understanding, not so much, I need to find out my purpose in life, which is important, but you need to understand the purpose for each season in your life. And so it talks about that. It talks about a lot of aspects of understanding what the process is. And so the greater the purpose, the longer the process. It really speaks to, though you have to first understand that whatever God's called you to is never going to be overnight. You're going to go through a process. Jesus went through a process of 30 years for 3.5 years of ministry. David went through a process of 20 years before he sat on the throne. He was anointed as a teenager, but he still, 20-some years, he went through a process. So the greater God has called you to do something, understand the longer the process it is, and for you to take what it is in that process, the character, the integrity, because many leaders fall, not because they weren't called to get it, it's because they didn't take on what God wanted to take on for them to take on during the process. So, gifts and talents can last, just a short while. You can trick people, but after a while, that character and integrity, if it's not there, that you didn't accumulate through the process, we see so many people fall because they didn't, take on those things. So that's what it talks about, man. Really, really great book, and I'm excited about it.
This is your first book?
It is my first book.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, I think it's a lot of purpose in that, and it's funny because I share a lot of that too as well. What you talked about in that book, what you talk about in your upcoming book, because you listen, people see the glory, but they don't know your story, and they don't know everything you've been through, and what it took to get you there, and the trials and tribulations. So I'm excited for you, man. I think it's going to do well, and I think people need to hear these stories and hear this encouragement to get them to that next level. So salute to you for doing it, brother. Salute to you for doing it.
Yes.
Listen, we're gonna get you back on, man. We appreciate you rocking with us, man. Come on and tell the people how they connect with you, following you on all your social media platforms.
Yeah, you can connect with me at Darius West or at Squad the Reality, Squad the Reality TV. As well as at Mike Drop the Movie, and you can find all those things on my Instagram, Darius West. A link to those things. So keep you guys in the loop. We will share that sizzle reel that's out there, to industry people at some point. Once we get everything inked in, that we can kind of share that. But I'm just excited for people to see just the sizzle reel, so that see the excitement about what's about to take place.
That's good. The legendary Darius West. Listen, we got to go to some music. We coming right back with more. Keep it locked. You're tuning to The Fixx. You know The Fixx is in.
It's in.